I want to begin this video by saying that I'm very sorry that you're involved with a narcissist. I want to express my sincere sympathies towards your situation. However, I'm not sorry that you've awakened to the reality of narcissistic abuse. Now you know what you're dealing with, and it's better to fight an enemy, to deal with an enemy that you can see, than with an enemy you cannot see. When you fell in love, it was the best feeling in the world. I want to promise you that the next best feeling is falling out of love, especially if it's falling out of love with a narcissist. Now that you're awakened, there are 3 fronts from which you must remove yourself. You must remove yourself physically. You must remove yourself mentally. You must remove yourself emotionally. To begin, you must remove yourself from the physical location, the geographical location, the vicinity within which the narcissist operates. I realize this is easier said than done, because by the time you're starting to deliberate about these kinds of decisions, the narcissist has already set up the environment in such a way it's very difficult to leave. Usually they have already destroyed your associations with people, so there's practically nowhere to run to, or they've made sure that you're very far away from help. This is one reason narcissists love living very far away from everyone else. They don't want to live close to your family, don't want to live close to your friends, don't want to live close to his family. They want to live very far away, because from those far places, the diaspora, they can be able to exert dominion and control easier. So by the time you're thinking or coming across such a recommendation for living physically, you start looking around and you're like, where am I going to? Then when you consider your friends, you're like, who will believe me? People will think of me like this, people will think of me like that. All this comes into play the moment you start thinking about living physically. With that said, I want to appeal to your soul, because until you live physically, healing will never begin. Whenever you're within the vicinity of a narcissist, you're being traumatized and re-traumatized over and over and over. If you had a wound and you're always scratching on it, how do you expect to ever heal it? Therefore, you must leave. Your soul is being injured. Your character is being destroyed. Your personality is being changed. You're being hurt. And as difficult as it is to live physically, it's the best option. When you're considering leaving a narcissist, one thing you must come to terms with is that there's no good situation. There's nothing good going on around you. There's no option for anything good. You only have bad and worse choices. You must take in quotes, the bad choice. You must leave. Now you might not be knowing where you're going, and it might seem risky. This is one of the reasons most speakers never advise anyone to leave. When it comes to that issue, you just hear them saying, who am I to tell you to leave? Maybe they're afraid they'll get sued. Oh, my wife, my husband left because they were listening to you. I'm willing to receive that accusation. I have no problem with it. If it's going to save your life, use my strength if you don't have any. Say, Timothy told me to leave. I stand by my word because I walk the walk and I walk the talk. There is no way I can recommend that anyone remains within the same location with a narcissist. The leaving is always the best option, no matter what that leaving entails. I'm not just speaking, I've lived that life. Don't think that I'm just talking here on YouTube or on TikTok. No, I know what I'm saying. I've lived that life. And I can assure you that God will take care of you. Just like he said to Abraham, leave the country of your father, leave the country of your mother, and go to a country that I will show you, a country that you do not know. You must have that faith that God will take care of you. I've seen it in my life. I'm not just speaking. And I'm saying to you, the best decision is for you to leave. You must learn not to tolerate abuse in the name of family. You must learn not to accept pain, not to accept toxicity in the name of tradition. This speaks to simply that which you've become familiar with. You must leave. I'm not saying it's an easy decision to make. I'm not saying you know right from left. I'm just saying you must put your life in God's hands and walk away. Because even if you don't, the only option you have is distraction. You're fading away. The narcissist will end you. You might as well go out on a limb and make that decision. Because if you don't, you're dying anyway. You must leave physically. The other front that you must remove yourself from is the mental front. Whenever you're involved with a narcissist, you need to understand that they've annexed your soul. Think of yourself as a program. And a virus has been introduced into your system. You've been infected. You've been hacked. The only reason you're with a narcissist is because you've been hacked. It might not have been your fault that you were hacked, but you're hacked. We are dealing with reality. We are not dealing with things you want to hear. We are dealing with very serious issues which require immediate resolution. If this video is getting to you, it has got to this point. This is God talking to you. So you must remove yourself mentally by adopting knowledge. The narcissist has made you an extension of themselves by causing you to think in a certain way. Mentally, they've placed you where you must think only a certain way about yourself and about them. And you must think only in that way. If you think a bit differently, if you dare to veer off just for a bit, you're punished. And so they've mentally entrained you. The process is called entrainment, into becoming their puppet, to becoming their parrot. You simply echo what they say. You mimic them. You don't have a voice, you don't have personality, you don't have originality. Your work is to reflect them in the world. They've hacked your mentors. So you begin to remove yourself mentally by adopting truth. You adopt truth by knowing what God has said about you. Anything and everything in your life must be consistent with that story. God said, "My people perish for the lack of knowledge." But He does not intend for you to remain in a state of ignorance. Know that you are made in God's image. Because of that reason, you must be treated with dignity. It's not a request, it's a requirement. Adopt the mindset that God knows you, that you're beautifully and wonderfully made, that you're the head and not the tail, that God loves you. When you begin to adopt these kinds of mindsets, your mental is rewired. You must substitute authenticity for performance if you are to successfully remove yourself from that cesspit, that shackle that the narcissist has been keeping you in. Thirdly, you must remove yourself emotionally. I keep switching my hand because I have no gloves on and it's quite cold out here. Holding my selfie stick is giving me frostbites already. So God will help me to get through this video. Thirdly, you must remove yourself emotionally. Now, feelings are one of the best gifts that God has ever given to us. Feelings have been given to us so that we can be able to relate with the world, with God, and with each other in such a way that honors God and honors you. Now, because the narcissist in your life has hacked your system, he has been messing up with your feelings. And feelings are not something to play around with. They are very potent, very powerful. Their effects are not to be understated. A narcissist has rendered you into a place where you have lost or you have suppressed your soul. He has taught you not to feel the way you're supposed to feel. He has scolded your love, shamed you for your anger when he mistreats you. He has taught you and then trained you that your feelings are weakness. Narcissists have this tendency of rendering you into a position where they feel that you are similar to them. For a narcissist to be a narcissist, one thing they lack is the feeling of empathy. And if you're with a narcissist, it's because you're probably an empath. Two narcissists usually won't last long Because you see, narcissists are takers. They are both takers. Empaths are givers. And so it needs one who gives and one who takes for it to be a balanced situation. So if you're with a narcissist for a considerable amount of time, it's possible it's because you're an empath. Now, empathy is the ability to place yourself in the shoes of someone else, to feel what they feel. So when we say, generally speaking, that narcissists do not have the capacity for empathy, what we mean is that they do not have the ability to feel what they feel, to feel what other people feel. If they had that ability emotionally, if they were not emotionally broken, emotionally impaired, they wouldn't be able to treat you the way that they do. Feelings make you human. Narcissists are inhumane. They're inhumane because they lack empathy. There's no feelings to work with. If you like, maybe you can listen to people like Professor Sam Vaknin. I have my own qualms with the guy, but he has 3 categories of empathy where he says that it's possible to for a narcissist to have empathy on 2 fronts. So you can go listen to him more about the subject. But maybe I'll just touch a bit on what he says. So there's what he calls reflexive empathy, which he says a narcissist is capable of. Reflexive comes from the word reflex, reaction, you get me? If I smile at you, you smile back. If I frown at you, you frown back. You're able to, as a reflex, display empathy. So you're told you have the ability to have reflexive empathy. He also says that it's possible for them to have cognitive empathy. I believe it, because if they didn't have the capability, they wouldn't be guilty of sin. They wouldn't be guilty of bullying. They wouldn't be guilty of harassment. God would have no problem with them if He hasn't given them any cognitive empathy, which is the ability to know in their minds that they are doing wrong, that they are hurting you. They know how you're feeling. It's true, because that is actually what gives them satisfaction. That's what gives them supply. When they know how you're feeling and they hurt you deliberately. Then the third category is affective empathy. This is now generally what I'm talking about. The narcissist has no capacity for affective empathy. They don't, although they can react, they have reflexive empathy, they have cognitive empathy, they can see and react, they can know, but they cannot have affective empathy. They cannot put themselves in your shoes and feel how you feel. Now you, on the other hand, has affective empathy, which is what we generally call empathy. It's one of the reasons it's a challenge for you to live, because the narcissist is taking advantage of the fact that emotionally you feel responsible over them. You feel that you're breaking your vows. You feel like you're failing in your responsibility. The reason you can be able to feel like this is because you're feeling what they would feel if you left. So your mind is actually working against you. Your virtue is working against you. Not because your virtue is vice, but because your virtue has been hacked. So I want you to know that when you're removing yourself, this is what will happen. You will feel that your actions are counterintuitive to you. You'll feel as if you're losing yourself. You'll feel as if you're doing wrong. You'll feel guilty. But I want you to remember one thing. This is not what you signed up for. Understand? When you said for good, for bad, you meant circumstantially. You did not mean in an abuse. You did not mean that you would tolerate it abusively. They lied to you. They lied to you when they made your vows, when they made you say your vows, because this is not what you were signing up for. You're not betraying yourself. You understand? God will help you. God will strengthen you. God loves you. And He will take care of you. But you must now begin making moves. This is where the rubber meets the road. Take charge of your life. Now, I don't expect that this should make you comfortable quickly. These changes do not, have effect in one day. It takes time. But a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. You do not climb a mountain from the top of the mountain. You begin from the bottom. And while you're in your valley, embrace the fact that you're doing the right thing. Move physically, move emotionally, move mentally. And remember what God says about you. You will get to the promised land. When you get there, God will speak to you. Just like Abraham, you might be leaving what is familiar, but when you get to the place that you need to get to, God will let you know. You don't need to know everything from the start, because it's not your plan, it is God's plan. And while you do so, always validate yourself with this. God will always take care of you. Repost this video. Make a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you think about it. Make a declaration. Say that you're moving physically. Adopt statements like I am a friend of God. I am beautifully and wonderfully made. You can begin by making those declarations even in the comment section. I am a victor, not a victim. I am the head and not the tail. I'm the first and I'm not the last. I was made in God's image. The plans that God has for me are to give me a hope and a future. They are not for evil. Thank you for joining me for this video. I'll see you in the next one.